You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! It's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have once again! Tyreek Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw, pops and fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory got a touchdown! Oh man! Dory's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Marvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
And Delatorre.
No Scarlett today. Jordan Scarlett has a family emergency. Had to, hit the PTO last minute. But
Yep.
Same corner, same time. Original crew.
Yes.
What's up with it, fellas?
Yeah, the original crew. I certainly wish Jordan and what they're going through. Hopefully it's not a big issue, and he'll be back next week. He's super apologetic. Enjoys being on the show, so super apologetic. He will be back hopefully next week. But a great weekend. I mean, other than about a 3-hour stretch, it was a fantastic weekend.
I appreciate Silk wearing the Big Dad barbecue shirt because I got cooked all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Timeline.
Man.
My goodness. This is a medium well
bruh.
steak over here. Sorry for being positive. My apologies. But yeah, good weekend. We have the family up here. Mom and dad are here. Mom put in her 2 weeks notice a couple weeks ago, so we've got grandma daycare for
Nice.
Frankie. Wife's first day back at work today. Conveniently forgot her lunch. Not sure that it was really a forgetting situation because there was the lunch delivery did include her daughter. Skeptical on the memory this morning, but did get to see mom at work today, and it's so cool seeing my grandparents or my parents, her grandparents be this involved in her life. I think that's really special. So good weekend overall for me.
Is she watching you on the nanny cam?
No,
She probably should invest in one.
no, we went with the one that's like not Wi-Fi, so like it's.
Okay.
Who knows who's tapping in and breaking into your Wi-Fi? So it's localized, so she can't watch it on her phone.
We should
Okay.
we'll get you in to get you the Wi-Fi one so that she can.
No.
You're not up to any shenanigans during the day, you know. How do you have a busy day and Nick's napping for 5 hours?
Hey, baby, I'm unemployed. we got nothing but time to nap.
Yeah, put you on the nanny cam. How was your weekend, Dan?
It was good. Went to a clay shooting tournament on Friday for a charity event. So that's a lot of fun. I'm not great at it. I got 28 out of 50. Nothing to write home about. This is my 4th time ever clay shooting, and I'm about the same every time. I never get better. So I never practice. But it's always fun doing something a little different, out of the comfort zone a little bit, and then. Went to a concert Saturday night. I actually ran into a couple people that listen to the pod. So shout out to you guys. I don't remember your names. They did the same thing. So Dan listened to the pod and then walked away, which
is a flyby.
Obviously, all of my friends know that I do the pod, but also makes it a little awkward because you're just like, hey, we'll let's make some new friends here. But got to see Kip Moore is one of my favorite country music artists. It's first time back in Tampa in a few years, so that was a lot of fun. And then yesterday, just kind of a low key day. And then tonight, I'm going to watch the Miami Dolphins again, probably embarrass themselves on Monday Night Football.
Stop
Very
that.
good.
The
Very
first
good.
time ever the state of Florida was 0-11 this week. We're talking about Stetson football. Didn't know Stetson had a football program. I apologize to the Hatters out there. The Dolphins are the state of Florida's only hope. College, pro, FCS, FBS.
Who?
The entire state of Florida. Name a football team in the state of Florida from the college level or professional level. Everyone lost.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. My misery loves
Offense
company,
gotta carry
man.
the
So
flag.
it was a stat that I love this weekend. I'm glad it just wasn't my teams that went over. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Oh no,
kinda
your
feel that
team
pain.
did. The Jacksonville Jaguars lost.
Yeah, they sure did.
Gators
It
lost.
wasn't just me, is what I'm saying, fellas.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I know.
correct. Yeah. Misery
Hey,
did
we may
lose.
have lost, but I tell you, I didn't watch it. You know, self love, baby. I logged out after Saturday. Whew, I couldn't do any more, self inflicted pain after Saturday, bro.
We're about to get like silk lawn service. The amount of grass he's touching, you might as well start getting paid for it.
Grass don't feel the same. We got to switch it up, man.
Dan, the clay shooting? Have you tried the mini cannon? Would you have more accuracy?
No, you wouldn't. You would not have more accuracy with that. I think it's a little bit of a skill. I'm pretty good. I got a couple handguns. I'm pretty good with that. But just it's more of the rabbits, right? Like the ones that are on the ground. I struggle a little bit with the timing. It's a ton of fun. I don't see myself going to buy a 12 gauge shotgun anytime here soon. So this is a great event for charity. So I love doing it. But I also set myself up for the people that I'm shooting with. Like, hey, I'm not going to get us to victory today. I'm here for the jokes.
So it's teams.
Well, it's individual, but there's also like a group of four. So you're in a foursome. So there's like a group prize, but it's more individual. Yeah.
Swingers party now, man.
Okay.
My bad, man. It is a family show.
Yeah. No. Shout outs to Tempe Sporting Clays. Well, we got a big show ahead of us today. We've got DJ Lagway's mother, Nikita Lagway, joining the show. We've got Justin Giangrande, DJ Lagway's agent, joining the show today. And then obviously we're going to talk about the Gators game against Texas, and we would be remiss if we didn't also mention the Todd Golden situation. So got a big show for you guys today. So Corey, why don't you start us off talking about Brunt Insurance, and we'll get on with the show.
You already know what the vibes is. Anything you need insured from the Panhandle to the Keys or anywhere in the Southeast, hit up bruntinsurance.com or give Greg a call at 954-589-2204. Brunt Insurance, they take care of everything. Life insurance, car insurance, motorcycle insurance, house insurance, anything you may need insured, my man Greg got it. He got you taken care of from the Panhandle to the Keys. The quotes are absolutely free. It don't cost you a dime to see if you can save money. bruntinsurance.com or 954-589-2204.
Greg, what it do, baby?
So we'll get on to the show. If you are looking for us to talk more about Billy Napier's, vote of confidence that happened on Thursday, we had a whole show about that. Corey and I did on Thursday. We're not going to rehash a lot of that information. Obviously, we put our thoughts out there. It's on your podcast feeds on the YouTube. Go check that out. We do want to talk about on Friday afternoon. There was a report from the Alligator that came out that was released, about Todd Golden being under Title IX investigation at the University of Florida. The Title IX complaint was filed on September 27th. It alleged that Todd Golden engaged in sexual exploitation, sexual harassment, and stalking over the course of a year towards multiple current and former female athletes. He's accused of sending nude photos and videos of himself. He's also accused of making unsolicited sexual advances on Instagram. They've accused him of stalking, that he would take photos of them walking or driving in public and send them to them on multiple occasions. Due to federal law, the University of Florida is prohibited from commenting on or confirming any Title IX complaints, inquiries, or investigations. Todd Golden did release a statement yesterday that he said that he was under investigation. The Gators are ranked 20th in the country right now in basketball. They are 2-0, and they are playing currently as this show is airing. And Todd Golden is coaching that game. So we are his status as men's basketball coach has not changed, and he will be coaching Monday night is what the UAA said. So we don't like to speculate, especially on situations like this, but certainly wanted to bring that to the forefront of everybody's attention had you not been on the internet since Friday.
Yeah, like Dan said, Florida can't. It's a federal law. Title IX is a federal law, so they can't publicly comment on it more than they have. You are innocent until you're proven guilty in our country. If he is guilty of these, you've got to be fired. And if he is guilty, and if this is true, then my thoughts and my heart goes out to his wife, his daughter, and his son who have to deal with this, and to the girls at Florida who have accused him. But it's, in our country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So you kind of have to wait until the process plays out. But just disgusting allegations, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Everything both of you guys said, man. Some wild allegations, but we'll see how everything got to play itself out. Title IX is very tricky. It's not your regular court of law, but, time. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we don't want to speculate any further. We will, as more information comes out, we will talk about that on this show, and we can, give our takes then. But as this investigation continues to happen, we will stay mum on the topic of conversation. Nick, not long before this show, the Gators grabbed a commitment. They grabbed the top-rated class of 2025 kicker in Evan. I don't know if it's Noel or Evan Knoll. I'm going to go, because it's Christmas time already, I'm going to go with Noel. I'm guessing it's Knoll. But he is ranked as the best overall kicker in the country, according to On3. And he is ranked as a 5-star on Cole's Kicking. The Gators also have a punter that's a 5-star, and we went over the rankings back when that happened. There's 36 5-stars on Cole's, and then there's like another 44.5 stars. So, but anyway, got one of the top guys in the country. So 6'2". You guys ready for this? 155 pounds, from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. So he had previously been committed to Arkansas and has flipped to the Florida Gators. Probably after the vote of confidence. So recruiting's back, boys.
He can probably spin it.
Oh my God, man! Your block was hot about that spin it, man.
I saw a 61-yarder. I saw a 61-yarder from him. Broke the Mississippi State record. I saw a 50-yard punt. I think Florida's got a punter, a kicker, and a long snapper. So shout out to Coach Matt getting it done.
So we ready to kick a lot.
Yeah.
It soaks down bad.
Yeah.
Down.
Here's what it is, right? So that'll be the second kicker on the Gators team next season. Trey Smack will likely come back. I can't imagine him leaving early or exploring other opportunities.
He's underwhelming. Like, one thing about Trey Smack, he got to get it together.
He's kind of 13 on the year, but I do agree that there's been some unfortunate misses.
It's timing, man. Like,
I'm not disagreeing, man. I was actually just pulling it up to see how Trey Smack was doing on the year.
What timing would have been good for him to make a kick on Saturday?
Every time we need him to hit one, he just doesn't make it.
I mean,
like, clutch timing.
Well,
clutch
Arkansas
moments.
game.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about the miss on Saturday, like.
Oh, no. I was glad he missed that one, because it looks like we were just trying to get 3. I wish you would have missed the other one. Like, we're going for 3 down 42. That's later. We'll talk about that later. But, no fault to the kid kicking field goals down 42 points. I don't blame him. Shouldn't have been out there.
The old Steve Spurrier quote. Who is he talking about? Is that Shane Matthews?
It's
Danny Werfel. He's like, it's not your fault that you performed poorly. It's my fault for putting you out there. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Fortunately, we've got the Lagways coming on, or Mrs. Lagway and Justin coming on soon. So we're going to probably break this segment up here in a bit. The Gators lose in a blowout fashion. Certainly, there's a lot of injuries in this game. lose 49-17. It was 35-0 at halftime. Just could not seem to move the ball. The running attack did well, but could not stop a nosebleed. And we had Jarrett Gibson and Isaiah Bond, both former Florida Gator commits. I think attribute for about 40% of the yards that Texas had on offense in that game. So with that being said, guys, just high level thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not making excuses, but like the injury list heading into the game looks like 2013. You're out DJ, you're out your 1, 2, 3 corners. You're facing a really good team, a team in Texas who was projected to be a playoff contender and who has looked like it all year. And you're going in there missing just key components. So it was going to be an uphill battle. Would have loved to have seen DJ play. I'm sure it would have meant a lot to him to play back in his home state of Texas. But it will be fun to see Florida play them back in the swamp next year, I think.
Will it, Nick? Will it be fun to watch?
Yeah, I'll say yes.
As long as Lagway playing, it's going to be fun, baby. Will we win?
Florida,
That's another story, but it's still going to be fun. Like, we're going to score points. It won't be ugly like it was this year. Should be a fun game next year if everybody's healthy.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a big caveat. Let's try to go through. The Gators were out. DJ Lagway, obviously, they were out. Montreal Johnson and Trayon Webb, they were out. Eugene Wilson and Elijah Badger. They were missing
James Jackson.
No, I'm just going on offense real quick.
Okay.
Damian George. Are they missing somebody else on the offensive line too? And then on defense, obviously, you're missing a number of starters as well. So just obviously not the healthiest team going into that game against Texas. And I don't think any of you guys tried to blow smoke up what the game could look like. But certainly, it was a beatdown.
Absolutely ugly affair. By all means, quarterback play is just atrocious. Quarterback 3 just shouldn't look like that. And I know Nick lied to the fans. We didn't even ask Nick for this lie. We got the quarterback 3. Everybody in the fan base got nervous. Like, oh, my God, what is QB3 about to look like? And Nick just volunteers an unsolicited lie. If this kid has a big arm, he can spin it.
He does.
He didn't
all a little hope.
You know what I mean? Corey, that's the thing. Nick didn't have to say that. You know what I mean?
Nobody asked him.
Yeah, nobody said, "Hey, Nick, what are your thoughts on his ability to spin the ball?" And he's like, "You know what? He can spin it.
Listen,
he got a big
arm.
He can spin it. He's been a third string quarterback. DJ gets hurt. He has to go into a game in Jacksonville. Well, probably head spinning. Then you have to go on the road to Texas, 102,000 people. Big moments.
Yeah,
he's a redshirt freshman, playing his first college experience. Like, he's got a big arm, just didn't know where the ball was going sometimes.
Did he play at Yale?
He redshirted last year.
Nate. So his first 2 games of experience, that's my bad for not knowing. For some reason, I thought he played last year. I know Clay Millen played Colorado State last year. And Billy Napier said there was never a thought about putting Clay Millen in the game. Obviously, I'm not the coach that depth chart looks like. But at some point, like, I know we talk about this, right? Like, and they're starters for a reason, and they see them throughout the entirety of what the practice schedule looks like, or the practices look like, and how they want to release somebody. But at one point, I thought, hey, let's just see what we have.
Well, Aiden came in January. He was offered a PWO, and they thought he could earn a scholarship. They unfortunately found out that he had a torn ACL. So, like, all the stuff he was doing, like the workouts to give clips to, he sent it to Shannon Dawson at Miami, who also offered him a PWO. And he unfortunately missed the spring because you have to get the knee cleaned up. But since then, I think Clay was listed as the third string for the opener against Miami, but ever since then, it had been Aiden. So I know it means a lot. It means a lot to him to be here. His parents are double Gators. They both went to undergrad and law school here. Yeah. Parents are double Gators, grew up a Gator fan. So, like, it's also, too, you're 19 years old, playing your first time, wearing a uniform you dreamed of. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on.
Yeah, no, it's really good. No, I mean, I'm just happy we're giving him a shot. let's. I'm
let me finish my thoughts, man. Oh my God. All right, let me try to keep it together here. I thought Ball is just a guy. The offensive line. I thought run block, considering what the circumstance. I thought the offensive line run block pretty well, considering they was loading the box. We didn't have a real down the field threat to throw the ball, even though we hit it on a couple. They wasn't respecting our deep ball. The box was loaded, but Ball is just a guy. And this
What did
offense,
I tell you?
man.
What did I tell you about him in the fall? I was like, there's a running back who doesn't wear any gloves. He doesn't wear any sweatbands. He's just out there looking to run into somebody. That's a scary individual.
No, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. Jacoby needs to take care of that ball and not fumble. Especially in games like that, just got to take care of the ball. But I mean, we just didn't look like we belonged in the same stadium as them guys, man. And of course, it's frustrating watching your team lose like that. What was that?
I did want to say 201 yards on the ground. I believe that's the most Texas has allowed all season. Obviously,
Jacoby had his first career 100-yard game as well.
Yeah, 113 yards on 19 carries. Jaden Ball, 19 carries for 88 yards. I thought both played really well in the game. Let's see if I can
running
find
into a loaded box too. Like they were running into a lot of traffic, man.
You're right.
Just props to the run game.
123 of their 201 yards came after contact. So solid. Texas obviously has a very good team, a team that could very well compete for the national championship, potentially win the national championship. They've got some great depth there, and I think they're still even missing their starting running back this year. So it's hard to believe what they could look like. Obviously, they faltered against Georgia, but I don't know if I see them faltering for the rest of the year. But guys, do you want to put this conversation on a brief pause so we can welcome Nikita and Justin onto the show?
Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. Before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Go visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale at checkout. It'll get you 15% off of your order. Great time. Obviously, it is the holiday season. So whatever gifts you might be giving to your family or friends, or maybe even clients, if you have a business development role, or you have somebody that's a good vendor to you, and whether they went to University of Florida or not, there's a lot of great products on Home Field Apparel's website. We've been ardent supporters of them, and I bought their stuff even before they became a sponsor of the show. And I will, hopefully they never leave, but if they ever do, I'll still buy their stuff. Great cotton, great products, a lot of different variety of football, baseball. Yeah, track and field. They've got like a homecoming shirt, a lot of different stuff that you can buy. So go ahead and visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word. Again, homefieldapparel.com, Stadium and Gale. With that, we welcome Nikita Lagaway and Justin Giangrande to the show. It's great to see you guys. How are you? Good. So just to introduce yourselves, I know that we could read a bio and everything else, but Justin, why don't we start with you? Why don't you tell everybody who you are and kind of your role in DJ Lagway's life?
Good. I'm Nikki Lagway's sidekick. No, I'm CEO of the Network Advisory. I represent DJ and manage him along with this wonderful woman, Nikki, here. I'm 20 years of sports marketing and representation. Always have represented talent through the lane of marketing, and obviously with the explosion of NIL, kind of have been at the forefront of that. I graduated from University of Florida in 2006 and stayed there until 2009. Got to live a lot of the glory days and Tebow era. Actually, you guys probably see my diplomas over my shoulder there. It's a proud Gator. And when NIL came around, I had the opportunity to work with some initial quarterbacks, Malachi Nelson and Julian Lewis, and that's how I initially met Derek and Nikki. And so I've been blessed to be on this DJ journey now for a couple years, and watching his rise and helping to be a advocate and along with the journey and trying to help navigate both the parents and DJ on the path forward and doing something that's never really been done before. Special to me just because University of Florida always holds a special place in my heart. And you guys read the press clippings are probably closer to this to any of us of DJ's desire to lead the Gators back has made this whole thing special. So, but yeah, that's my role.
And real quick, there's just a compliment to you, Justin. There's so many, when NIL became a thing, there were so many bad actors that kind of just look to take advantage. And I think the job that you've done with DJ and your company, that you guys are first class. So just props to you.
I really appreciate that. In our head, the idea was like, if you're going to do this, go find talent that could be generational and that you could go the distance with. And even when we were talking to Nicky's, like if you had found Tom Brady when he was 16 or 17 and he could have built his brand, what would that look like? And so we're excited about what we're doing, and it's a lot of fun.
That's great. And Nikita and Nikki, I know that you don't have to introduce yourself. I know everybody knows who you are. But so welcome to the show. I'm curious how you and Justin got connected and how you guys ultimately decided that when you were thinking of DJ's future and what college might look like for him and what building a brand would look like, how you guys ultimately got connected and you guys decided that, hey, this is the guy that I think can help my son get to that next level in his both college and professional career.
Yes. So we got connected with Justin. It was mostly my husband. My husband, he does all the talking. He's not real big at talking at all, but he did all the he got all the introductions and everything. And so I believe, was it Malachi's dad introduced him to Justin. My husband, I don't know how he knows everybody, but he knows everybody. And so I just don't know half the people he knows. So he got introduced to Justin. So we started talking and meeting and just discovering the idea. And, we had other agencies reach out to us. But honestly, we're in Texas. So, certain things are not legal. So we just kind of started visiting with people. And honestly, at that time, we thought that some of the other larger companies were just kind of too big for the platform right then. We wanted the more personable. We are very big on family oriented type things. So we wanted someone that we could sit down and have open and honest, transparent conversations with. And so when we met Justin, it was he was like family from the moment we met him. And we just felt connected. And then the things that he was talking, and he's made waves on it. Like, it's been amazing.
I think you guys have handled it this entire process in a very gracious way. Just watching from afar, momagers, parents sometimes can overstep or just be too like helicopter parents. What kind of advice would you give like the average parent that's dealing with the recruiting process and trying to find an agent and all of that?
That was a good name, momager.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny that you say that, because I tease DJ a lot. I say, I'm your manager, right? Because, and he's like, no, you're my mom. But the advice that I give to people is, sometimes there's not that role of mom and dad in the household. So I understand that. I'm so blessed and fortunate that we are able to do it as a team. But what I tell parents is, never lose sight. Like, first of all, I'm just going to be straight honest with you. Money is not everything to us. My son has to maintain an image. My son loves the Lord. My son has a special, like, he doesn't want to, I don't care who's offering the most. Like, it's not about that. I do not want my son to lose his identity. My son doesn't want to lose his identity. So if something doesn't match him and what he believes in and what he stands for, then money's not everything to us. Because this opportunity, I truly believe that he was chosen and God allowed him to use his platform to draw others. So we just can't be a part of everything. So, that's just the biggest advice I tell people. I would tell parents, don't lose who you are nor who your son is because of the price of $1. Because money isn't everything. If you develop his brand and his beliefs, then God's going to take care of the rest. And I truly believe that.
And this is not money, but this is probably speaks to kind of that loyalty, that family. I'm sure there were some big schools with 16,000 seat stadiums in Texas, because everything's bigger in Texas, that maybe called and was like, hey, I don't know if you guys want to move from Willis, but we would love to have your son here and he can play quarterback. What was it about your family and DJ's desire to, hey, I'm from here, I'm going to play here all 4 years, and I want to win a championship at Willis, and just staying and kind of the impact that maybe your family has had in that community as well.
Yes, so you're right. We my boys went to a private school. So it was always under the impression with us that we were going to go all the way through 6th grade. 7th grade we were going to start public school. My husband also coached at the private school, but we had people call and said, hey, we'll buy your house, move to the woodland, move here, move there, move, but my son, we had the opportunity to choose where he wanted to go. And he basically said, and we didn't have the greatest football team then. We didn't. And I had a lot of nephews and stuff that played, and kids that we knew from Little League that played. We should have had a great team. I don't know why it wasn't great, but it wasn't. And he said he has this mentality to where he's like, he wants to make a name for himself. And he was and it's so funny because he didn't want to be his dad's number. He was like, I want to go to Willis. I'm going to pick my own number out because his dad had a little legacy here in Willis. He was like, I'm going to pick my own number out. I'm not going to be my dad's number. And I'm going to make my own name. And he always envisioned, like, he's like, they're going to do a show about us one day. I'm going to be on a show one day where the underdogs, they're going to talk about how turn this program around. And when I tell you he lives up to that stuff, I mean, it's just phenomenal. But he made in his mind that that's what he wants to do. Me and his dad both graduated and we're athletes from here. My whole family from Willis High School. And he just said, no, I want to do it at Willis. I want to be a Willis Wildcat. And so we gave him the choice, but he chose to be here.
Dad playing at Baylor might have played against him then. Played against Baylor then. Well, listen, I went to Dad's high school and now I'm getting out of here.
It did play against it. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It absolutely played against Baylor a little bit. We were so thankful that was one of his first offers. But at the same time, he's like, I don't want to follow. I want to set my own name. He wanted to step out and be his own person. He always has wanted to do that. So yeah, it kind of did play against Baylor a little bit.
Sorry, Justin, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear those parallels? People, I'm gonna be honest. People ask me all the time, why did DJ go to Florida? Why would he want to go to Florida where he's got to help elevate the program? There's so many programs that he could go where it would be, he knows he's in the national playoffs every single year. And, I think sometimes people think I'm like, blowing hot air, but the truth is, look at what he just did in high school. He could have went somewhere that's easier. And, I think sometimes I tell my Gator friends and they get like beyond fired up because the truth is he really wants to elevate the program and bring it back. That's what it is about to him. And, look, we've seen it in 8 weeks. I mean, I don't want to say it. We actually were on a Zoom, me, Mr. Lagway, Nikki, and Michaela earlier. And it's like, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but it's like the program, as you see, like the energy he brings that program when he steps on the field. And for me, I'm kind of like looking at this because I lived through the Tebow era. I mean, what are we, 8 weeks in? And the team already looks to him. You can see that. Right? They didn't have the energy last week because when they don't have him on the field, they don't feel like, they think they have any chance to win every game when he steps on the field. And that's crazy to happen almost 3/4 away through a season. I think that's what's amazing to me, right? Like, to just see that, but that's because he comes from, he has two amazing parents. I mean, he works super hard and they both work hard every single day. They're grinding, and that comes from him. So, and that comes from them. So,
what do you guys,
when I talked to him as a recruit, I had to tell him to stop calling me sir. I was like, listen, I know I've gone gray prematurely, but I'm only 35. I'm like, just Nick.
It's please. Instilled in us. Yeah. It's instilled in us.
Yeah. What do you guys, because a lot of it feels, and I think he can handle it, but it feels like this whole thing, I tweeted this like a day or two ago, like a lot of this is hinging on his shoulders. And I do think he's a kid that came in from day one. I was around him at a visit, and I tweeted, the aura of that kid is different. You just can feel it when you're in the same building as him. It feels like a winner, in a lot of different aspects, not just ball. He just seems like a winner energy around him. But it seems like a lot of pressure for somebody that young. Like, what kind of advice and what type of, wisdom are you guys giving him to be able to handle that type of pressure? Because it's a lot.
Well, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Since he was little, since he started playing football, Little League at 5 years old, the pressure has always been on him. he has always had the pressure of the whole team. Like he is literally from day one, like 5 years old, carried a whole team. Like, I mean, a whole team trying to tackle him and he couldn't do it. And my husband was his coach, and it was always a lot of pressure. Now, me as a mama and younger, learning as he was younger, I didn't really understand that. But my husband was, as he got older and started, he's like, I knew the greatness was in him, and I had to put him under that pressure because there's so in life. And so, but one thing I love about him is DJ does not like, he doesn't entertain that. And he always, because as a mom, you read stuff, you hear stuff. I literally had to get off social media on, so I never really was on social media anyways, but I have to, some of the things are harsh and hard as a mom to listen to and hear. And I'm thinking to myself, like, they don't even know how hard this kid works and what he does and the effort that he puts in. And for them to say these things about a kid is like awful, but he is up for the challenge. He does not let that stuff bother him. He's like, listen, I just want to play football. I love it. I have my goals, and he does. He's a very goal-oriented kid. He writes his short-term goals, his long-term goals, and he checks them off as he accomplished them. And he just wants to play in the NFL one day. And like his goal was, like, I literally am in tears watching him live his dream. Like, I don't know if most parents get to ever see their kids all through me and him. I just remember us laying on the couch together watching like a game. I don't know nothing about football. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He's telling me, explaining everything to me, and he's like, Mama, I'm going to play in the SEC one day. I'm going to play on Saturday nights. And once I get done doing that, I'm going to win a Heisman, or I'm going to win a national championship, and I'm going to go to the NFL. And
From his lips
I'm
to God's
watching
ears,
this stuff happen. And he's put in the work to make it happen. It's just, it brings tears to my eyes.
At the time, you're like, all right, that's cool, DJ. Go do your homework.
Exactly. That's it.
I want to ask a little bit, and I don't want you guys to necessarily have to speak out of turn. I know as DJ's recruitment, and I know that you guys were obviously both heavily involved, but also it was his decision, right? And I know that you guys would support him. It seems. I've not asked you this question before, wherever he wanted to go, right? But what was it about Billy Napier? What was it about Ryan O'Hara? What was it about the Florida Gators that really stepped out, right? Because when DJ committed, Billy Napier was in his first year at the University of Florida. Florida was on way to their second under 500 record. But what was it about Billy Napier, Ryan O'Hara in the University of Florida that really got DJ's attention to the point where not only did he commit relatively early, he stuck through it. He stuck through all the rumors about him and obviously some very heavy pushes by the top programs in the country to try to get his commitment.
What I would say is, because my husband did do a lot of the recruit process, because I have a younger son, so I had to stay back with him as he did his select ball and stuff. So my husband went a lot. And I would say what I noticed and what DJ would tell me is what he felt. Now, we would always tell him what he felt from Coach O'Hara and Coach Napier. It's more than the way we raise our kids. Like, I tell him all the time, like when we were looking in this process, I was like, you not only love the coaches, but you gotta love the school and the area that you're in, because things happen, things change, coaches leave, anything can happen in this world. And so I said, you have to know this. And he was like, I do. He said, but one thing he pointed out to me, he's like, they are not only concerned about me as the football player, but they're concerned about me as the young man, the husband, the spouse that I would be, the father that I would be. And he really looked up to that. And I'm gonna be honest, like, the relationship, we're not like super holy rollers, but we believe in God, and we pray, and we go to church, and we believe in fasting, we believe in talking to God, we believe in asking for help, and things like that. And he recognized that. He has a strong sense of discernment. He always has as a little boy, and I had to respect that. But when we made it, we all as a family, we fasted and prayed about it. And so we did a choice fast during this time when we were making decisions, because we didn't take it lightly. We didn't want to do anything that God didn't want us to do. And so he took that very serious. And he always wanted to play in the SEC. And so that was one check. And then for Billy Napier and O'Hara to want to put the time in to teach them, he felt like he could learn so much from them. And they wanted to teach him. And he just loved that feel, that connection. Because this is what I'm telling you, I would have to tell him, okay, enough football, time to do your homework now. You got an essay due, you got a paper due, because he would study the game. And he felt that help, because if he would text them and be like, hey, I got this situation, they would respond back to him, during this time. So he felt that connection. So I trust the way he feels. And he felt very strongly about that. And he loved the connection that he had with the coaches. I knew
So it
hands down.
wasn't Justin repping for his alma mater at all.
No, it wasn't Justin.
Actually, look, like you said, something. First of all, I love my alma mater, but when you take the responsibility of representing a client, you got to put their priorities first and foremost. And I told them that, and that's the truth. I have such a personal relationship with the Lagways now. It's bigger than this. And one of these things is you never know in this NIL world where the journey is going to go, he, like you said, I just keep going back to it of, not to get the fans too excited, but he generally is up for the challenge. I keep hearing it, and Nikki said it a couple times. He's up for the challenge. And honestly, in this day and age, I don't know if there's that many kids that are like that. I think that speaks to who he raised, and also watching who players want to come play with him now because they see who he is. He's kind of got a little bit of that old school tough in him, but also with his game is so flashy. So he's kind of got the best of both worlds, right? He's got the leadership and old school mentality kind of set in the new NIL era.
It was interesting watching recruits, because DJ gets to campus in December and they're hosting recruits for camp and stuff like this, and we interview a kid who's 16, 17. He's like, I met DJ Lagway today, and we're like, okay, you can see that aura and that kind of magnetism that he already had with the kids in high school, not even from Texas, from Florida, from Georgia, wherever they were coming to visit from. So he might have to be put on payroll as a recruiter for them, because just talking to the kids, you can tell, like you just said, Justin, that other players want to play with him and be on the same team as him.
I got a two-part question. First of all, how do you assess? Because you got plenty of Gators on the TNA roster. Shamar James is one of the kids that I did some content with in the past. One of my favorite Gators right now on that team to be around. But how do you assess kids' NIL value and place them with the right deal? And also, how did the Gatorade thing go down with DJ Lagway? What was the story behind that?
How do you place value? First things first, there's a lot of people who want to work with talent, and put it this way, I don't know how to say it. They're okay with signing talent that they think are just going to be lucrative just from an NIL. I always have kind of a higher bar. It's one, I have to think that they have the potential to be a great NFL player or long-term potential, because if you're putting your time and effort in someone, you have to believe that. Like, to me, our journey on the marketing and branding side is, this is just the second inning, right, with DJ's college career. So assessment, like, do you think they have a chance to be a really great player long-term? Two, can you work with them and the families? I mean, I tell the parents that, and Nikki knows this, we're about 80% in business with the parents. I mean, you're dealing with kids that when you first meet them are minors. So you better feel comfortable in being in a good work group with both of the parents and understand that. Then the third piece is, I remind all the clients, even though they're young, it's work to be marketable. It's not that you just roll out of bed. A lot of that, do you want to do your social posts? Are you willing to sign your trading cards and be respectful? When someone's paying you for something and you sign up and make a responsibility, are you going to show up and live up to your responsibility? Because all that stuff happens behind the scenes, and ultimately brands, figure that out. So to me, it's about really assessing their personality type. You assess what kind of player they can be. Then you meet the parents and you meet the kid and see, like, are they up for this journey? And then also just really taking maturity into account. Like, people, I think sometimes the kids in NIL get a bad rap. There's also a lot of really mature kids like that. I'm like, man, what I was doing when I was 16. I mean, I think that's what's amazing to me is that they've stepped up to the challenge. I mean, I'm sure Nikki is thinking, a year and a half ago, what she had to do for DJ, but like, he's now on campus and has all these other responsibilities, and he's stepped up to the challenge. So There's no perfect science to it, if that makes sense. And I think it's just setting that expectation and seeing if you can kind of match the effort.
How much, you can both probably speak to this, how much does it take a team? Because like you just mentioned, DJ getting to campus, and I don't know what the home situation was, but when I went to college at a state, it was the first time I was doing laundry. And I didn't know how to do that, let alone go to class. And what do you mean 7 a.m. class after a 5 o'clock lift? How do you manage, hey, we have all of these NIL opportunities and not overloading somebody who is now also learning to live on their own on top of to play high level Division I football and managing all of these things in just time?
Nikki, you should go first. I'll go. This is unbelievable.
It definitely takes a team. Um, my husband makes fun of me because like we go to every game, like we've been like that since little league. One parent has to be there, because we have 2 boys. Especially football, I just feel comfortable with one parent there. So we when we go to Gainesville, like I have a job to do. When I get there, before I leave, I do laundry, I clean up, I help him. I That's just the mama in me, and my mom is probably worse than me because even if I try to let him do something, she's not going to let him do it. With me at every game as well, and goes to his apartment and takes care of it. But he does. I do notice like we're still learning. So when he first got there in January, it was off season, taking mostly classes. He was good. He was cleaning his apartment. He was getting his stuff. He was going shopping, doing what he needed to do. Now football season, he's focused. Like he is locked in. And I know that because at home he was like that. And so I know I have to step up and help some if I'm able to. Yes. Does he know how to do all this stuff? Yes. Because we made sure at home that he knew how to take care of himself. I told him, Mama's not going to be here forever. And you may not have a wife one day to help you do all these fun things that we do. And so we made sure that they knew how to cook, clean, and things like that. Now, they are spoiled. My boys are very spoiled. And I enjoy doing that for them. So my husband doesn't like that so much because he thinks I should just be focused only on him. Older, but no, he knows how to do this, and it's a lot. So when he has to sign those cards, he receives it better from me. My husband is more of like, boy, get your butt in there and sign those cards. Get on what you got to do. And I'm like, and he says, I'm not kissing his butt. That's what he says I do. I don't. I just talk a little softly, babe. Your business. We have to take care of this. So I need you to set a deadline. In 2 days, I need you to have at least the first packet done. I kind of soften it up a little bit. But, so it's definitely a team effort with all of it. Because he's learning too that he has a lot of responsibility that he still has to do. These people are giving you deals and you're reaping the benefits from it, but you have a job to do. And so it's been a learning process through non-football season and football season. So I'm learning things that I can do better next year during season.
You're walking in and writing down his goal list, finish packet of cards signing, and
text
put that
him
on
every
his
day.
goal list. Yeah.
I want to say one thing. Nikki, first of all, she wears 2 hats because she's his mom, like she just said. But like, I want to actually take you guys through. We joke that they're kind of like mini pros. Like we have a weekly call. We just did it earlier today. Myself, Derek, Michaela from our team, Doug, our chief strategy officer. We go down the whole DJ business in an organized fashion. These are all the things we have going on. These are all the content things we have to do. These are all the deals that are in queue. We try to make it as easy and organized because look, everyone's moving around. We anchor. That's the DJ weekly meeting starts up top, right? Then Nikki, right? We strategize. Who's going to get DJ to do this? Who's going to get DJ to do this? All right, Mr. Lagway, you're going to call him and you're going to push on this, right? And I think what we try to do is on the network advisory side, make it as easy for them to consume and make decisions. That's the first layer, right? Then, of course, it gets escalated. All right, we all like this. We're on board. It's got to go to DJ. DJ, do you want to do this, right? And then once he signs off, yeah, I want to do this, then we all make it happen. But it's definitely organization and not overwhelming, right? Like the way we've set it up is, and I think that brings DJ some peace. He knows that his mom, myself, Michaela, his dad are all talking about these things. So if it makes it to him, it's because it's basically at the final point. And then look, something else that's been said. we don't say yes to everything. I mean, and that was something going back to the Lagways, and maybe it's just them knowing their son and betting on it. Like, I don't want to say they're not surprised that we're here where we are. Like Nikki's told me since day one I met him, he's always been exceptional. So maybe other people are surprised because he's a true freshman, but I don't think the Lagways are surprised where this is. So we've kind of been preparing, like, he's a mini professional. He's a professional. Like, we've been building this way for now almost, since he stepped on campus, and it seems to be working.
How close was he to playing Saturday, and how has he been dealing with the injury?
No comment from me.
Yeah, I don't know. I was freaking out when I saw him out there warming up. My youngest son was like, because he had already told me that he wasn't going to play, and then my youngest son was like, Mom, look at him, he's geared up, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so, but he knows his. And one thing I give him props for is I've taught him my professional trade. I'm a physical therapist. Even though they don't respect me as a physical therapist, they only see me as mama. But I'm a physical therapist. So I've always told them, listen to your body. Your body will tell you. And so that's always been really big with me to tell my boys to pay attention to your bodies. And I say, don't rush it, don't push it. But they are competitors. And I know that competitive part. So everything in him wants to play. He was listen, when they called me back, he was so disappointed. He said, I let my team down. And I was like, baby, you didn't.
We was about to beat Georgia, man. We was about to beat Georgia. I felt it.
He was so disappointed. He was so disappointed. He was like, and I was like, baby, you have no control over that. You just got to worry about getting better and healing from there. But he is such a competitor. He wants to be on that field. He does not like to be on the sideline, but he recognizes his place. Whenever, he respects his coaches and understand that everything has a place and a time. And we've always taught him that, just wait your turn, be respectful, do what you got to do. But when you get out there, show them what you got.
Everyone was asking me, is he going to play? I said, guys, the plan is for him to not play, but can I tell you without a shadow of doubt that in the ninth hour, and I'm not going to lie to you, when I was sitting next to Mr. Lagway and he had those pads on, I said, oh boy, because look, it goes back to he's a leader, and he knew deep down. I think what was probably killing him is that he knows that they look to him to lead, and not being able to do that. I think that was probably the tough point. But like Nikki said, I mean, Nikki and Derek knew that ultimately he was going to do the right thing, which, it's amazing. Also, I say this about the Gator Nation. People generally care about him because it's interesting. Everyone, of course, would love to see him play, but there was half of people like, you better make sure he doesn't go out there like it was his own son, which they loved him like that because which was really cool to see of people, getting out of their fandom and really being like, we gotta look the best out for our DJ Lagway. We gotta protect him, which was a cool thing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That kind of that leadership you mentioned. I remember seeing there's like a clip on ESPN as it was leading up to the Sanford game, and I think Derek Wingo when on his podcast said that DJ kind of looked to Derek as the fifth-year senior, like, all right, break down the huddle, and Derek looked at him and was like, no, it's your time. And just to see not only how DJ commanded it, but the way the team was looking at him in week 2 of the season, I think everyone saw those leadership qualities that you guys have been talking about.
I want to ask you guys a question. I know that it seemed like DJ and Graham Mertz got along very well, that they became very close friends. And I guess you meet them during the recruiting process and then obviously coming on a campus in January. What was that process like? And what their relationship's been like? Probably some sort of mentorship. Obviously, there's the competition aspect of it too. But obviously, when DJ Lagway came onto campus, a lot of Gator fans were already kind of clamoring for him to play. So what was that experience like? What was kind of that quarterback room experience like for him as a friend and as a teammate, but also saying, hey, I know that I want to be the guy out there starting?
He one thing I can say is when we met, I think Derek, my husband, and DJ met Graham prior to me coming. I met him at the official visit that we went down to. And when I tell you, we sat at the same table, we talked, and I mean, just their relationship, like even like when he got injured, DJ got injured the other day. Like Graham was in there. DJ is, he's just like me. He's stubborn, and Graham was like, "Let me cut let me get your tape off." He's like, I got it." Graham's like, "You're not cutting your own tape off. I'm cutting it off." Graham was like over there on it, like and like I can't tell you how many times my husband and I have hugged Graham and talked to his dad and family and said how much we thank them for. Graham is such an amazing person. I mean, these kids go to church together, like they go to the same church. They see, like DJ has said, how much he's taught him, how he mentors him, how he looks up to him. That is like phenomenal because, me as a mom, I think about, I'm thinking about, oh my God, like even my kids coming from private school, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want anybody to be mean to my baby. And I know he's a big baby, but he's my big baby. And I'm thinking, oh my God, with the competition, and I feel bad because, people are coming. I don't like that. Like, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. Like it made me and my husband feel very uncomfortable when we're sitting in the stands and Graham's out there doing his thing. And we're cheering him on because he's great quarterback, great person, and a great athlete. And people are like, put DJ in and DJ Lagway, start chanting his name. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. At the end of the day, I think that people forget that these are kids. Like they're not kids, they're young men, but they have parents. People have feelings, people have emotions. And I get the fans get all into it, but that really made me feel because has 100% wholeheartedly taken my son under his wings and shown him the ropes and still teaching him the ropes, being there for him. I mean, like when we went back there for the Georgia game, Graham was right by his side, sitting right by his head, like sitting right by the bed, like right there. And he didn't have to do that. Like, I mean, he didn't have to be there. That's not mandatory that he sit right there, and he was helping him get a clean shirt, helping him get his pads and stuff off, and here he is, just had surgery. That speaks volumes. And me and my husband can't thank him and his family enough because they've shown nothing but love and they've been so amazing. And I love the fact that those boys, and I think it has, me being that mama and that Christian mama, I just know it has nothing to do. It's just all God because it's not like they have a competition. Like it was no competition. I never felt that competition vibe or the energy. And I have asked DJ because I want to know those things. Like, did it ever feel like that? Those questions. He said no. He mentors me. Like he wants me to do better. Like he shows me the ropes and stuff. And so I can't do anything but thank God for that. Graham is just an amazing young man, and I mean we love him to death and wish him nothing but the best. I mean he's been amazing to my son, and I know that is someone that my son will always have to lean on.
I got a chance to talk to Graham right before his surgery. And when Graham came, I think the general reaction was, what is Florida doing going to Wisconsin to get a quarterback? They run the ball 70 times a game. Mm-hmm. And after Graham talked to us in the media, I talked to him a little bit off the side, and he said, hey, I'm doing a pro day. And in my head, I'm trying to do the math. And I'm like, that's a quick turnaround. But I told him, I said, I've learned something over 2 years. I don't doubt Graham Mertz when he puts his mind to something anymore. So I said, I'll be there. When you have your pro day, I'll be there. We'll cover it.
That's right.
I've got a quick question because we've been trying to talk about it on this show. We don't have a nickname for DJ Lagway.
Dan's are bad.
Hold on. I just want to know, is there an official agent and family nickname? Like I said DJ Dimes, but it just didn't take off the way that I thought it would.
So Dan, they explained the structure, how they as a team talk things through before they bring it to DJ. DJ Dimes wouldn't have been brought to the table
at all.
I mean, he likes to go on the. Well, he's got two things. I mean, look, DL2 is what he goes by because, and you've seen that on some of the merchandise. That's a couple things. He's his own man with the second, or with being 2, which is his own number, but he also pays homage to his dad because DL1 is his father, right? So DL2. So, I mean, that's like his branding. You'll be seeing that put out there. Obviously on the other side, you have Lagway, which, they couldn't have come up with a better name because there's, you got Lagway all the way and there's the Lagway. There's all these things.
Show me the Lagway.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the DL2 is what he really likes and has affinity towards. That's this. I'm sure Nikki's got sort of nicknames that she probably doesn't want to release publicly for him, but
I think DJ doesn't want those out. She doesn't. Pookie, Sugar,
DJ Dimes.
His nickname, honestly, guys, his nickname is DJ.
Right.
And it's so funny because everybody thinks it's like Derek Jr., but it's not Derek Jr. His name is Derek Jordan Lagway.
Oh.
So, and he always teases his dad because my husband and his brother are named the same. My husband's name is John Derek Lagway, but his brother's name is John Arthur Lagway Jr. And so DJ always teases his dad. He's like, I'm the original DJ. I mean, I'm the original Derek. You're not, because his name is John. But yeah, but my son's name is really like DJ, and he went through a phase, probably maybe fifth grade. He wanted to try. He was still at the private school, and he was like, I don't want people to call me DJ anymore. I'm gonna start going by Derek. And so everybody started just said, "Hi, Derek," and he said, "They did that for about a week," and he was like, yeah, go back to DJ. I don't like Derek." So DJ is his nickname.
Well, if it comes up, DJ Dimes is what I'm throwing in.
You like that?
If you're just looking for something else, you know what I mean?
Respect
Just,
the hustle, Dan. Respect the hustle.
I mean,
Yeah. I won't even take a commission, you know?
Nikki, where did the middle name Jordan come from?
Derek loves Michael Jordan. He's the GOAT, right? Derek always, and it's so funny because both of my boys, y'all, my husband ended up doing the same thing that his mom did. And he said he wasn't going to do this, but he did. He didn't even realize it. Like, I looked at DJ's baby book not too long ago when we moved, and I looked at what we picked. Like, the first name was Derek Jordan Lagway. The second name was Derek Jamal Lagway. Well, guess what? I said his name is Derek Jamal Lagway. And DJ's name is Derek Jordan Lagway. But Derek has always loved Michael Jordan. My husband has always loved Michael Jordan. He thinks he's the GOAT. He always is. And so he always knew that DJ, like, he's just special. Like, he's been chosen. Like, honestly, both my boys are. Like, you just haven't even, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Like, nobody, and that's what I keep saying. Like, I said that to someone today. I was like, man, they have not. I even told DJ this last night. I was like, baby, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, baby, they ain't even seen nothing yet. Y'all, no one has seen what he really can do. No one has seen that yet. Like, he is just touching the surface. Like, he is. I just can't wait till the world sees it, because I'm like, I want them to see what we know you got in you.
So I'm going to say something, because you guys asked me earlier how the Gatorade deal came to be. Let's just say that took a lot of pushing and honestly staying on top of Gatorade for over a year and a half about all the amazing accomplishments he had over his high school career, right? He was the Gatorade player. So look, I'm putting it into the ethos. I have my friends at Brand Jordan. I put it out there. He's named, we're a Brand Jordan school. They've done a Brand Jordan deal with Zach Branch. I'm just saying, Gator Nation, we should put some pressure out there. But, I think all jokes aside, those are kind of those partnerships you talk about, like Gatorade made a ton of sense for him, right? He's Gatorade National Player of the Year. And, it was just, they got to meet him. They felt, and then when it was time to actually pick a player, they were like, you know what, we're going to place our bet on DJ. And it's been a great relationship. It's been really cool for him to be in that, obviously the spot with, as you just heard, Michael Jordan is Derek's, favorite athlete. So just pretty cool.
Speaking into existence.
That's right. That's right. I'm speaking it into the existence. That's right.
Love it.
Any final questions, guys, before I let these fine folks go on with the rest of their evening?
What was the
up this week?
What was the what was the ticket request like? Being back in your home state last week.
Ooh, listen, I was a little disappointed because a lot of people were like, my husband and I both come from a huge family. Both sides of our family are huge. So like pretty much half of our family on both sides make up the town that we're from, basically. So it was so crazy. Like my phone, like literally both of our phones literally blew up. Like, and they were like, and I was a little disappointed because they were like, well, if DJ's not playing, I don't want to come. And I was like, come on now, you got to support the team. We're supporting the Gators.
We were supporting the
Y'all
Silk's a hater.
Tickets. How many people that did not come to that game because DJ didn't play? And I was like, oh, come on, y'all. Y'all got to still support the team because we were still there. We're going to be there regardless. But, the demand was crazy. I think they even chartered a bus from Conroe, which was our rival town, in high school, they chartered a bus because he had so many fans. Like they wanted to charter a bus to go down there to Austin to bring their fans. And it's just like, y'all, this is like surreal. Like it's unreal down here. Like it's crazy because I'm like, this is just little old DJ that grew up around here. Everybody knows us. We're still the same. Like I'm actually sitting in my car right now because my youngest son had a basketball game today, and we're handing out. I'm on the booster club, so I'm part of handing out their playoff shirts because our team again back to back 10-0, and so we're cheering it up. I can't make it to the first game, but I do my part because I have another one coming up. Part of everything. But it's crazy. Like we have people trying to call me every day about where to get shirts from, how to get jerseys, how to get this, because Christmas is coming up. And all these kids up here look up to him. Like it's surreal. It's surreal.
Can I say something? Because I want to brag on her. I mean, talk about this woman, Nikki, how she balances all of this. Like you guys wonder where DJ gets it from, but I mean, she's so graceful being a mom and also stepping into this momager light, and also just being there for the Gator team and being a spokesperson. There a lot of women and moms really could learn a lot from her. She's every step of the way kind of elevated with it, and I just want to say thank you because she's made this process on us working together just amazing. It's really been a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
Also, man, everything you guys are doing is just it means a lot. Imagery wise, in our culture is normally, like you said earlier, is a single mom or is a parent missing. Just from a religious standpoint, a cultural standpoint, what you guys doing is huge. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate both of you for joining tonight. Might not be the last time we hear from you guys in the not too distant future. Yeah, maybe, but Nikita, Justin, thank you guys so much for joining Stadium and Gale tonight. And certainly we wish DJ nothing more than the absolute best. And certainly as he gets back healthy, and certainly we want his long-term health to be the first and foremost. As much as Gator fans are going to clamor for him to play, we just want him to be safe and healthy out there. And I think both of you guys have done outstanding jobs, both in agent representation as raising an incredible young man that seems poised to do incredible things, not only on the football field, but in the rest of his life. So you guys both deserve your kudos and accolades for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it. We'll let you guys go and have a great rest of your day. Go Gators.
All right, go Gators.
That was fun. That's good. Hey, shout out to the chat. You guys kept it. I'll give you guys a 7.5 out of 10.
Army Sniper was getting a little hasty in the comments. He was getting a little trying to get me to ask Billy questions. I can't do that.
Honestly, the one question we should have asked her is if Aiden Warder can spin it, because I think she would have agreed with me.
Oh boy.
Oh, she would have agreed with you. That's 100%.
She just seems, I don't think she could hurt a fly. All right.
No, very mature man. Like I remember going to college. Shoot, if I had a little bit of money, like some of these kids do, reckless, double secret probation. So kudos to Derek and Nikki.
Do you think you would have gotten the Gatorade deal?
No, I would have been going for like a Bud Light or a Natty Ice.
Bud Light would have been interested.
Maybe Bush or Natty.
Not like the Greenville, North Carolina tire shop.
No. Maybe Grizzly.
Loco.
I can see Grizzly. Yeah, I can see
Grizzly. Yeah, baseball player, Grizzly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Not quite Copenhagen.
No. Definitely not name brand. No.
Yeah, if you got the NIL that Lagway got, man, you just gotta come home from the visit and just look at everybody. I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
This is my ship.
I might not be here.
Yeah. So we
might have enjoyed myself too much.
Excited about the Lagways obviously being part of the University of Florida family, and who knows, maybe there'll be some content in the future with them. Let's get back into the game. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. Go buy yourself a cup, again, it's holiday season. Cups are a great price. They've got the University of Florida. They got a bunch of other schools. They're going to keep your hot drinks hot, your cold drinks cold. Great products.
A little too hot.
Great owner. Yeah, a little too. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Put a hot coffee in that joint. It's going to be hot for a
Drop
very
one
long
ice
time.
Drop an ice cube in there if that's the case.
Okay.
But great product. Really well made. A lot of great designs. A lot of unique designs as well. So go visit them. AimTimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code Stadium15 at checkout. And you'll get 15% off of your order. We'll pick back up. We'll pick back up in the game. Obviously, we talked about the running back room. Aiden Warner goes 12 of 25, 2 interceptions, 132 yards in the game. From a receiving perspective, Jim DK with 95 yards on 9 targets, 5 catches. Nobody else on the team. Well, I guess Jacoby Jackson had 13. Everybody else was below 10 yards. Boardingham, Ball, Burke, Mizell. Obviously, we mentioned that Elijah Badger and Eugene Wilson did not play in this game, so you're missing a top target. But yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the offense? I mean, I don't know what we want to talk about here, guys. Like, this was a blowout. And
it's nothing to break down here, brother.
Nikita was listening and Justin was listening while we were talking about the game at the beginning. Now let's air it out here. What are our thoughts, guys?
I mean,
I didn't know they were listening, but
what?
Go ahead, Nick.
What? I get it. I'm not trying to make excuses for the team, but like back in July, I would have told you this is not a game Florida's winning. And then you look at the injury report, and like I don't know what else. And I get it. You're a fan. You're going. You want your team to win. You want your team to be competitive. I don't know what you turned ABC on at noon thinking you were going to see, given where the teams are currently, what the injury report is. You're on a third-string quarterback.
I didn't think I was going to see that.
Yeah, I thought the defense would play better, but offensively, yeah, I think that's with a third-string quarterback who can certainly spin it. I think that's
I don't think it's just like
expected.
Expectations were low for this game. It's just not the expectations for the game. It's the expectations for the program. It was what had people more upset than anything than just the game. This is just like where we at year 3, playing Texas. We got blown out even when we were healthy, versus Miami, Texas A&M. So it's just like I don't think it was just that game, what you're feeling from the fans on social medias. I think you're feeling like just the state of the program. Billy just got the vote of confidence for next year. We come out here and we just don't even look like we belong. And you try to gauge, and then you got the Georgia game coming on next with old. So you start seeing all the coaches around the league, the teams around the league, and it's just like, bruh, it don't look like we belong right now as a program. And I understand how injured we are, but from the top of the year, big games we come in like out the gate, it don't look like we belong. And this is year 3, so I think frustration from an overall standpoint, not just going to Texas. I think our expectations were low. It just was.
And I get that. I get that argument too. It's like you're not watching each game in a vacuum, and you're not even watching this season in a vacuum. This season, you're taking what happened year 1, how year 1 ended into account, and what happened in year 2. You're taking that into account, and I get that. That's totally valid. But to me, I'm going into that game, and if I'm just watching it as that game, I'm like, yeah, you're third-string quarterback, you're leading receivers out, missing a starting offensive lineman. I just offensively, I don't know what you're going to do, and you've got a quarterback making his first career start, hasn't shown the ability like DJ does. One, doesn't have the running ability, so I keep saying it about DJ, 11 hats on 11 hats. It's opening up things for everything else. But then his unique touch and accuracy on the deep ball, now you have to respect it. And until Aiden Warner puts that on tape, you're going to be running into stacked boxes. So I think Texas has a better roster than Florida. I don't think I'm breaking any news or making a crazy statement there. and then you take some of the best players from Florida's roster off. Offensively, that's exactly what I expected to see. Defensively was different. That was
defense was bad. Defense was
surprising.
bad. And I know that it's hard to be fired up when you expect probably to lose, and hopefully that's not their mentality. But I think just looking at the game, both in a vacuum and then as a part of the whole of the last nearly 3 seasons now, is Florida's nowhere close at all. And that's the most concerning.
Close to what?
Anything of true value.
It's like being a program.
Like we gotta look around the league, and that's a little bit what I'm saying. Dan's saying what I'm saying. When you look around this league, like we're in the SEC, and then you got the best coaches in the country is in this league, and you see these teams can also recruit. So you're not gonna out talent this league, right? So it's gonna take 2 of the talent. We look at what we have recruiting wise, but you look at the talent and also the coaching. It's a lot to be desired, and as a fan, you're just like, all right, bro, like, where do we go from here? And I understand the AD. There's a lot going on at the University of Florida and making these decisions, but the energy that you're feeling on social media, I think is from everything. And I don't think we're ready to compete for national championships. Lagways is a chance to beat anybody in the country, and I feel that way,
Yeah.
But that type of, be on one kid. One guy going down shouldn't make your whole team look like that. And I think that's like going into next year. Like, I hope Lagway's healthy the entire season. But it was the last time we had a healthy quarterback a full season. So if Lagway going makes us look this bad, like how do we look next year? If something was to happen to this kid, we're just not set up to make a run, in my opinion. It's just all heavily weighed on Lagway's success right now.
Like I said last week, portal pending, like you're going to get 4, at max 4, definitely 3 starters back in the offensive line. Tank, TJ, maybe Andy Jean. Is he still on the team?
I mean,
Eugene Wilson. Like, you're bringing a lot back. Guys are getting real experience now.
100%.
Portal pending.
Yeah, no, and I mean that's the thing, right? And like Corey and I touched on it when we did our pop-up show on Thursdays. Like, there's a lot of assumptions that if Billy Napier comes back, which it looks like he will, that all of these guys are going to stay. And at some point, you have to also think that a lot of these guys are making business decisions for themselves. Sure. And a lot of these kids are right now currently getting hit up to explore other opportunities. And I hope we're doing it at the exact same time. You know what I mean? Like, if our staff's not tampering right now, I'm going to be even more pissed off. But that's the thing, right? Like, as much as we, as much as I'll speak for myself, as much as I love the University of Florida, I'm a graduate. It was surprising to somebody on Twitter. She said she thought I was an FSU fan, which I thought was odd. But
I got called a Miami fan.
Somebody named Beverly. She's like, he trolls as bad as all he thinks about is Florida. I'm like, that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, that's for the last 15 years on Twitter. Yeah, she kind of
went there, host a podcast about him.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very long. It's been a 20-year ruse to get to this point. But what I'm saying is obviously, I love the University of Florida, and it's a school that I chose to go to and chose to stay at. But you have to look at some of these kids and say, even if they're starting at the University of Florida, is there an opportunity for them to go somewhere else, right? The starting running back of Ole Miss went to be second string running back at Ohio State. And don't think that can't happen to talent at the University of Florida, because it will. And I know a lot of people think that if Billy Napier comes back, he'll be able to turn it on a little bit in recruiting, and all these guys are coming back and they're going to spend all this money in the transfer portal to try to get guys. You're going to lose, and Florida is going to lose a number of starters going into next season.
I said that and I got killed on Twitter. It's not being negative. It's just going to happen. We lost arguably our best offensive and defensive playmakers last year, definitely our best pass rusher in Princely. Went to a different program. Etienne, as a lot of people thought he was a better back. There's a lot to be desired with pass blocking, but people thought he was a more talented runner than Montrell Johnson. and you lost those guys to SEC teams that you're facing this fall. And then that's going to be at our rosters a lot of good young talent that, if I'm Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Ole Miss, I'm going to hit these guys up because players want to win. Like if you watch ETN and Prince this past Saturday, they're both competing for playoffs. They're on teams that are going to be in the playoffs or competing to be in the playoffs, and we're not there yet. So we got a lot to fix. And then, like Dan said, I don't know if this roster is going to be intact. We're bragging about the talent level of what it is now. People going to come a poaching. We got to see how what how everything shakes out in the balances. But I think we do.
I think I brought it up earlier in the year. It was probably playing devil's advocate, saying like, I'd rather you spend the Billy's buyout money on NIL and go buy players. I think Silk's argument is that like I don't believe in him as a coach. And it doesn't matter if he has better players. But I think if you're keeping Billy and you can say, hey, that money that, it was reported that I think it was Chris Lowe at ESPN said the money's there for Billy's buyout, his whole thing. And I said, well, that's stupid. You don't need the full buyout. You only need to pay what's due in 30 days, and then you're paying it over time. But if that money is there and Booster said, hey, this money's here, can you then convince them, hey, let's pour that money into buying the best roster we can possibly have. Surround DJ Lagway with as much talent as we can have.
You just admitted to everybody that you kind of want to fire him. You just kind of admitted to everybody you kind of want to fire him. Yo, we got the buyout money just over here. Like, like the money to get rid of him is literally sitting on the table over here.
Well, no. I'm saying if I'm in a position of power at UF.
But that's what they're
doing.
What I'm saying is,
what I'm saying is if I'm in the position to hire and fire at the University of Florida, if I'm the AD and Boosters had made it clear to me, hey, when you're ready to make that call, we've got the money. It's promised. We're ready to pay the buyout. And if I told them, hey, let me convince you, let's take that money that you said you can get like that, and let's pour it into NIL. And let's go get a compete on an NIL roster with a school in terms of money, like Ohio State did this year, like Ole Miss did in the offseason.
It makes sense. Like if says it's my money and I'm the booster, right? And it's my money that I got because I don't think this guy's good enough.
Right.
So you're telling me that you take that same money to pour in NIL, and if it next year stinks, I still got to find money to fire him again. It just doesn't make good sense. I'm not saying
it's an easy conversion. But I'm saying if I'm Scott Strickland right now and I've come out and now said, I believe in Billy Napier and he's going to be our coach moving forward, now it's on to me in my mind. How do I convert the money that they said was this? How do I still get that money but use it to make my decision correct? And to make my decision correct,
I'm just not buying it.
It's not an easy sell, but like that might be the job. To make that sell to the booster.
I'm curious to see how that sale goes from a transfer portal perspective, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people offering a lot of money, and there's going to be a lot of people that are fighting for the same type of people the University of Florida is fighting for. And as much as you want to try to sell that you're one player away or two players away or five players away, whatever it might be, there's no proof in the pudding that they can put together that all they're missing is talent. And that's my biggest question mark right now is you can go get a couple of other pieces. Is Florida now able to compete? And if so, is that for 1 year? Is that for 2 years? What if it fails? Then you've delayed it again and you find yourself in the exact same spot. And I'm going to support the University of Florida, whatever they do. And, I'm going to cheer them on Saturdays. But that's my biggest question mark because I don't know how this solves what your issue is. What are you going to do? Go get an offensive coordinator? Okay, cool. Is it going to be a guy that follows Billy's system, or is it going to be somebody that you hand over the reins of the offense to? How quickly does that system get implemented? What are you going to do with the coaches that you're going to have to fire and then bringing on new coaches? There's a lot of issues on this team that I just don't think spending money in the transfer portal solves at all.
And I know these guys that are giving that money are just as smart as us to know that that just doesn't make sense. And even with
smarter
OC,
than
we've been,
us.
yeah, but I think I'm pretty smart.
Smarter than me. I'll speak for myself. Smarter than me.
I'm put, but they got to be smart guys. But even the OC thing, just doesn't make sense. So the last 3 years we've been needing the OC. We've hired OCs in some capacity, forcing somebody like the rumors on the message board. It's been reported that a part of him having to go get an OC. So if you're handcuffing or forcing somebody to go get an OC, like what is that vetting process is gonna be like when you really don't want to give up the play sheets? Like who are you gonna go hire? Like I don't trust you to really give away play sheets in the offense. I said on this show when he first got the job, the day that he gave up the sheets, it's over. The day that he hired a play call, offense coordinator, it's over. Just watching him, Louisiana and other places, guys that call plays, 9 times out of 10 gonna go down like Jimbo.
Well, I would love that. I would love Jimbo's situation.
Yeah, that's a beautiful ship to go down on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we need to just keep. I mean, it's been the topic of conversation on this show for probably a year now, at least, right? And we were probably later than other shows were to just kind of throw everything under the bus and then back over it and roll over it again. But it's to a point where I don't see the big picture here. Right? It's not. You've admitted it's not a money thing. You've then just admitted that you're going to keep a guy, but he's got to make massive changes. Okay, so you hired an offensive-minded head coach to bring in his system, and then you're going to force his hand to bring in an offensive person. I think that can only go two ways, and one way is about 1% of the way that it could probably go, and the other is about 99% of the way that it could go. And I feel defeated, mentally defeated. Not really, not in real life, because we are a podcast, but.
We are in weird times when I am the beacon of hope on this show.
Yeah, because he gave your baby a shout out, so you've been soft on him ever since.
That's right. You didn't ask him hard enough questions.
Yeah, I think I've asked. No, I won't go there. Yeah, listen, I think Scott Strickland made it clear that he's coming back next year. I don't know. It's been nice to be off the message boards for 2 weeks. So I don't know if he's going to be forced to make an OC, but
perfect time to be unemployed.
Listen,
man. News has been crazy, bro.
Yeah. I said it to my wife last Thursday. I was like, you know what? Could be worse. Could be worse. I could be employed right now. But I think to me, it's NIL is what it is, and you've got to compete. Florida has good NIL. Like DJ's making good money. LJ McRae's making good money. Like guys are getting paid at Florida.
Yeah.
But there is a disparity. And it might be, like, hey, Ole Miss took a swing and they spent. The Grove Collective is fantastic. I just saw Dave Portnoy's watch company just gave them $50,000. Like the Grove Collective is fantastic.
Nice.
And they took a swing because, like, hey, we've got Jackson Dart coming back and schools like Ohio State. I see fans being like, I'm not going to tell fans how to spend their money, but I see fans being like, I'm going to stop donating to NIL until they fire Billy. And I'm like, that's also not going to help.
What?
No, I mean, I don't know if it hurts. I mean, at the end of the day, Florida is not powered by a bunch of people giving $10 a month.
Yes.
Let's.
You need corporate money. You need big boosts. You need checks with commas that have 3 zeros after them.
Right.
And checks that have 2 commas.
Maybe even 6 zeros after them or 5 zeros. Right. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, all the money gets affected, right? I think boosters are going to be liberal with throwing their money. These big salaries that got to get paid by these athletes. I don't think they're going to be all loose with what they're throwing around if the product doesn't look good. Lane, it worked with the collective out there because he's a good coach. They believe in what he's doing. He gave the fans a product last year. They got excited about the potential, and fans started contributing to the NIL and boosting what they already do. They just adding on. And with the right, I think the fans would have no problem with supporting NIL wise. But I get any fan that's saying they like the product and they're pulling their money away because, we all want to see the program get good. And it's like, what do we do? The little power we do have is on these little apps and what we contribute to the program. But I'm not telling anybody what to do. But I understand if you do stop.
Mm-hmm. Nick, you're on mute, buddy.
The other thing, too, I've seen a lot of people being like, this isn't acceptable. Why are you telling me this is acceptable? I'm like, listen, I'm just being realistic of where the program is right now. No, I don't think 3 losing seasons. I've written and said Ron Zook got fired for a lot less. 3 losing years in a row is not the standard. I'm not in charge of making those decisions. On a personal level, I like Billy Napier. Have talked to him about things that we've written, things that we've said, and he said, if we're winning games, you wouldn't be saying those. Like that's not your fault for saying that or for fans being critical. Like if we were winning games, they wouldn't be saying the stuff. I wouldn't get on Twitter and see this, or so and so at church wouldn't say, "Oh man, sorry that you had to read this." Like he understands that it's a business, and he has to win football games. The person who is in charge of hiring and firing made it clear that he's coming back next year. So I think in my mind, okay, well, how do you make that successful then? If that is the path the program is going, what are ways to make that successful instead of just saying like, screw it, throw paper in the air, like we're done here. I'll see you in 26.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's starting to feel like because it's just I don't want to. We go to the LSU game here in a minute and move on from this, but you're just putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound thing with whatever you're trying to infuse NIL wise. I do applaud those efforts. Like I thought this year was one of those type of years anyway. The roster set up that we need to put players around Lagway to make a run next year. But the recruiting class from this year, I don't foresee that getting any better within a month from now. Like I don't see us correcting anything, and then the vagueness of is this guy really the guy for University of Florida still on the program next year? So I think next year class, you do back-to-back classes of mid, and that's when it gets lucky because the next guy come in, whatever you're losing in the portal, 2 bad classes, it can get real ugly for the next guy coming in. So I think we're spinning our tires here a little bit with the whole topic, but like as a program as well, in my opinion, I think we're just spinning our tires.
Yeah, no, it is what it is, and this is a situation that Florida finds themselves in. They do play LSU this weekend.
Real quick, as a transition, Black Raiders Steel. I just want to mention that South Carolina has more ACC championships than Miami does.
Yeah,
at one.
I might cutting out.
Yeah, it might cut out a little bit every once in a while. Not too often, but every once in a while.
I switched
right,
mics. I don't know why I was doing that.
All right, let's get into the Florida and LSU game. This game will be in Gainesville at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Right now, the Gators are 4.5-point underdogs in that game. The money line is -180 for LSU, +164. LSU, and the over-under in that game is 55. We will know probably a little bit more on Wednesday, but probably not till game time whether DJ Lagway is playing in that game. Wednesday at 8:10. Wednesday at 8:10, you'll find out.
We need merch.
Wednesday at 8:10.
Wednesday at 8:10.
I mean, that list keeps getting longer and longer by the day.
It's tough.
I didn't even know Elijah Badger wasn't going to play until Wednesday.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when he got injured.
Yeah, listen. I'm just a fan now.
Yeah. So anyway, that game, LSU right now is upset, I guess you could say, with
LSU got smoked.
Yeah, with where they're at right now. Brian Kelly seems to be on a little bit more of the hot seat. It's funny when you look back, right, at when the Gators hired Billy Napier, there was some well-substantiated rumors that Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly were both very interested in that Florida job. And all 3 of them are currently on the hot seat for a variety of different reasons. But yeah. So anyway, LSU is 6-3 right now, coming off back-to-back losses against Texas A&M, where they lost 38-23, and then got beat by Alabama 42-13 in that game. LSU obviously always has a pretty formidable team that they're going to put on the field, and the Gators are underdogs for a reason. It is a little closer from a spread perspective than I thought it would be. So curious, you think that the Gators, if they can get some of these players back from injury, which we'll know more a little bit on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, whether that's going to happen, do you think that Florida has a chance against LSU?
Yeah, I think like Corey said, I think I find it hard to bet against Florida if DJ Lagway is playing. That being said, LSU's dominated this series. Weird games, like weird circumstances in the games, but I think they've won like 11 of the last 13 or 14. Like absolutely dominated Florida.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
The Gators, I think, have a good chance. LSU. The last back of the schedule, everyone gets a bye week before Florida. I think FSU's comes in the form of some FCS team that might beat them.
They need a bye year.
But yeah, but LSU had to play Bama and got smoked, bullied, destroyed at home in front of 103,000 at night because LSU gets every night game that they want. Shout out to Lane Kiffin throwing his tantrum.
Sorry to interrupt, Nick. The series is 34-33, LSU to Florida, but you are right. Over the last 14 seasons, LSU's won 11, and the Gators have won just 3. It was the opposite of that, kind of leading up into that. But yeah, the last since the turn of the 2010s, it's been an LSU. But a lot of close games, right? Florida won 14-6. They lost 17-6, lost 30-27, lost 35-28, won 16-10, lost 17-16, won 27-19, lost 37-34. So of those games, more than half were decided by a touchdown or less.
Yeah. I mean, some crazy games like Jacob Hester converting the over the back field goal ball. It's like some weird stuff. Fog. Like crazy stuff in this series.
Yeah, the goal line stand, Marco Wilson shoe toss.
Yeah, it's to me, I will make my official pick when I see if DJ is playing quarterback or not. I think if DJ plays, I would pick Florida to win this game. And if he doesn't, I'm probably LSU to cover.
Yeah. Corey?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we could beat every team on our schedule, including Ole Miss with a healthy DJ Lagway. When the rest of the team being healthy, I think the talent is there. Just saying this is week 1. I don't think we're walking into any matchup and we're just out talented. Coaching, game plan, preparation, living up to the big moments. We are at home. I just like us in the game if we're healthy, but when the talent's even, we just don't live up to it. We beat teams that are worse than us, that we have more talent than, and seen us be a team as equal as talented as us since Tennessee last year. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I think the last 3 games are all winnable games. I think there is a path and a road for us to get to a bowl game. If Lagway's healthy, the rest of the team's healthy, we should, I think, make a bowl game. I think we get 2 out of the last 3.
FSU, LSU.
Yeah, I mean, I think that those are probably your best chances in putting Florida in a chance to get to 6 wins. And I think that those, however many practices you're going to get, you're not getting a full 15, maybe 9 or 10, I think would be very valuable for some of these young guys. But all right, guys, well, maybe we can do a pop-up show later in the week when we know a little bit more. Just there's so many question marks when you look at the injury report against Texas, and we just don't know where the status is of a lot of those players. There was a lot of players that were just ruled out, not even doubtful or questionable before getting into the game. So maybe later in the week we can do a quick pop-up show about the game. There's just too many unknowns to know about this LSU game to really give any real predictions. Before we do a final ad read, any final thoughts? Corey, you got song of the week, so.
Nice.
While he looks, Dan, I will just say, at the risk of jinxing it, the Miami Dolphins are on top right now.
Ball on top.
7-0 with a minute left in the first quarter. Just
worry about
America's team carrying
Don't top
the
down,
flag of the state.
Reverse cowgirl coming.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. I'm not expecting a win, but that's good to see. I looked back when we were down a little bit a few minutes ago. So, all right, guys, let's do one final ad read for our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com. Anything that you want, from Gators wear, paraphernalia, to tailgating supplies, to Christmas ornaments or Hanukkah menorahs, or anything in between. Go visit Alumni Hall in Gainesville, or go visit them at alumnihall.com. Let them know Stadium and Gale sent you when you were there. Again, Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com. And before we do this, if you're watching, especially you Black Raiders Steel, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button before you leave. We appreciate you guys.
Go
watching.
Georgia Tech, Big Tech, man. Bumblebees
buzz.
threw the rundown on my 2 years in a row. Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does Georgia Tech have like a weird ability to just like ruin Miami season? They had that like block kick return, or no, that was against FSU, I think.
Yeah, that was against FSU. They had the fumble last year when they should have gone into victory formation.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah, they just the refs saved them all this year. They should have like 3 or 4 losses, to be honest with you, but the refs just been bailing them out. But Georgia Tech ran down with some big fire, and the refs couldn't bail them out. So, big Georgia Tech. The nerds did what they had to do, man. I appreciate them boys.
Buzz.
Their schedule's so weak that with 1 loss, they dropped behind like 3 teams with 2 L's. That's how crazy that schedule was easy.
And South Carolina has more ACC championships than Miami.
That's crazy.
They
got to recreate. They got to bring back the Big East if they want Miami to be great again.
Ooh,
I think UConn would have something to say about that.
I like UConn. I like UConn straight up. Corey, what do we got song of the week?
Let me get some Russell, my guy, out of the West Coast. Leg day. Little leg day. Can't skip leg day.
Skip leg day.
Yeah.
You cannot. All right, guys, we appreciate everybody for joining. Same corner, same time. If you didn't hear, Nick is going to be doing some pop-up shows by himself. Sometimes we're going to join him. It's called Nick's Corner, so those are going to drop periodically as well. We're trying to do some more pop-ups, some more content. We got a lot of really cool stuff that we're working on. We'll let you guys know when a lot of that stuff gets across the finish line. Appreciate you watching. See you guys next week.
Better than that.